Okay, introduce yourself for those who might not know who you are.
From the Bronx, I write the scene TC5 prez.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. What borough and neighborhood are you from?
From the Bronx, in New York.
Okay, what was it like growing up in the Bronx around that time?
For me, when I started writing, 76, you still had a mixture culture in my area, the Bronx, black and white, Hispanic, more black and white. You had white graffiti crews. TC5 was a white graffiti crew. They had Blade also, but the majority of them were white.
Okay, when did you first start doing art?
I'd have to say doing graffiti like really around 75 and 76, and I started moving around out of the neighborhood.
Okay, through art, that's how you found graffiti, or what was that like?
It's sort of the other way around, because my father was an art teacher, and he went to different schools, but the last school that he taught was at music and art.
Okay, when did you first start noticing graffiti?
I'd have to say it basically 1970. 1970.
All right. Who were some of the artists that was up when you start noticing that?
That would be Stay High, Cliff, Comet, Blade, Ajax, Karachi, Vam, a lot of TC5 guys, Super Cool. That's what I can remember just off the tip of my head.
Okay. Those are the artists who influenced you to start writing?
They kept me intrigued, like how do they do this? How do these guys get this work on the train? It's crazy. Now once I found out how it was done and I became more into it, my definite influence were Case, Part, Knock, Butch, Super Cool. Super Cool predates a few of the cats I just mentioned.
And is that Super Cool 223?
Yes, it is, exactly.
Okay. What year did you start writing?
We'll say 76 on the trains. But I was garbage. I didn't really start getting style and notice till 77. 77, 78, yep.
All right. How did you come up with the name Scene?
Whew. I like the way the letters flowed. There was a teen, T-E-E-N, that I sort of mimicked him. I definitely got a part of my name from him because he was up at that time.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it. Scene versus Scene. Who actually had the name first, and did y'all ever have any conflict over the name?
Well, I had the name first, and there's always been a verbal thing as in who's the first. But if you ask certain artists who go back, they know that I was the first. You got other people that just want to be on the team, and what they hear in magazines, that he was the first.
Okay. How did you and Richie manage to coexist back in the train era?
Well, me and Richie were supposed to have a battle on the trains, and it was supposed to be, I believe, on if I came to his line, I'd let him know, and if he came to my line, we let each other know, and we do whatever. Because in fact, I come to a sort of agreement. I'll write Lil C. That was broken. That treaty was broken when he came to the 2s and 5s and did something. I was like, nope, I'm now C, and I'm the C. That's it.
Okay. Have you ever gotten to any beef with people mistaking his work for your work, or meaning that someone thought that you was him or he was you, and they started going over your pieces because they thought it was the other person?
Well, one person that went over, I don't know who it was, they just crossed it out and wrote some UA stuff, but never signed who they were. Other times I get into a disagreement with cats, like saying, oh, I thought that Richie did that. I said, no, that's all me. That's all me.
Okay. Did you ever write anything else besides Scene?
Many names. And one thing that might have been my downfall lies in people not realizing that scene did that. Because my interest is basically if I saw a name, the letters fit right, more for tagging, but also for piecing, I would write it before somebody else snatched it up. I've had names like Mr. Wiggles. I went to school with Wiggles, and he asked to have that name. I said, sure, you could have it. But I did do a piece before that arrangement happened. That was me and Doze's first full car, was a Noggin and Wiggles. What other names that I've had? Let me see. Twice came out in the magazine. Nobody knows that's me. I did First Aid. Jesus. I'd have to really, because I have a book with basically all the different names that I've used for tags and pieces. Mostly for pieces, because tags, you could tell. It's like, oh, so he wrote that.
Okay. Who was the first person you met in graffiti, and how did y'all meet?
I really can't put my finger on that one. Who was the first one I met?
Okay.
Wow.
What crews are you down with?
Okay. Of course, TC5, TNT, TFP, TDS, PHK, TC. These are old crews, those two, TC and PHK, which PHK, Party Hardy Killers. TC stands for the crew, Chester. FC. Jesus.
Just a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who was the first person you met in TC5, and how did you get put down with the crew?
Okay, the first person I met was Comet. I met Comet because we live in the same neighborhood, Comet and Blade. Well, basically the original TC5, the Crazy Five. Okay, Comet had given me, Fade, and one of my first partners at Inside's, Chems. Fade he didn't really want it because we had too many headaches involved with it. Because basically he was a TNT, and it's already gotten its rep, and just how can I say, hit that TNT was the crew. TC5 had fallen off, as in just anybody could write it, or you couldn't verify if they were truly down. So when Comet offered it to us three, Fade denied it. Me and Chems took it. Now, to make the crew, we had to clean house. And part of that, it took me a while to say, you know what, forget about me going through this, oh, you're not down with the Crazy Five. We're just going to write the Cool Five. So if anybody has, any needs verification, that's how we know.
Okay. Who are some of the people you put down with the new TC5, the Cool Five?
Doc would really know more than that, but wow. Sound's down. He's one of the originals. The originals, I guess I could say, is me, Doze, Chems, Sound. Fade's down though. Tank. Say City was also put down in that early era. A lot of people are going to be mad at me not mentioning their name, but there's been a lot of brain cells destroyed from now to then.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so is that the time you had started high school, or what?
It was I think it was a year before I started high school that I got TC5.
Okay. Speaking of high schools, what high school did you go to?
Art and Design.
Art and Design?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Art and Design is famous for having some of the dopest artists. Who are some of the names that came out of that high school that you remember?
Okay, Too Mad, Daze, Pink. Yeah, Pink was down with the original five also. I got to give her that. Tack, Fable, Airborne, K's.
Oh, that's a lot of legends. Okay, you mentioned Pink. How did you meet Lady Pink, and what was your favorite memory that you had painting with her?
Okay, I met Lady Pink at Art and Design. She was also a writer, but she wasn't writing Pink at that time.
Oh, what was she writing?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
And I say for a few months, we got to know each other. And I said, I got a tag that'll work perfect for you. I said, try writing Pink. I said the letters are nasty together, and also Pink, a lady. Boom, there you go, you got it. Me and Pink did a lot of writing together. We did a lot. She would tag with me. We go layups, yards. But I guess one of the pieces that we did a lot of things just the ghost yard sticks out with me and Pink, because we did things that, you know, didn't run or pulled out on us. Case was involved, so. But there's just times that, yeah, just me and her would go hit insides. Yeah, and one of the things about the gang at Art and Design that was down with the 5, we would cut out of school, go to the yards, and hit them before they pulled back out to run for the rush hour. So that was something that was, I love doing that, because it's called instant fame. So you don't have to worry about somebody going over. We did our work, and we're out.
Okay, was it hard taking a girl to the yard at the time, and what was the rules when it came to her in case there was a raid?
No, she handled it like anybody else. It was like, you're down with us, you got to handle like a man, and she was good. She kept up. She didn't panic. We basically had each other's back.
Okay, what lines did you write on, and did you king any lines?
Okay, I kinged 2s, 5s, D's, CC's, and I don't know if the B was running. Yeah, we'll just say the B's and the D's and the CC's.
Okay, what was your best card you ever pulled out?
Let me see. It had to be one done with Case, definitely. And I'm trying to remember which one, but right now the one that sticks out on my mind, my head is was a scene in Crush, full card top to bottom, and I had a character of me with a big afro with my arms folded, with a big teardrop in one eye. That's one of my favorites.
Okay, what was it like going painting on the subway for the first time, and do you remember who you was with?
It was always scary, but it's an adrenaline rush. I don't remember who I was with. Wow. But I know one of the first pieces I did had to be with Fade. It was a Slick scene, or a scene in Slick. And that was done at Gun Hill Station layup. And we finished it, but we didn't finish it because it started raining. It's like it was done because we had an outline, this and that. And at my skill set at that time, it's a good thing it rained because I was going to overkill my piece.
Okay, who was your graffiti partner at the time?
I have to say Kems, K-E-M-S.
Okay, did you ever go to the writer's bench at 149th Street, and who were some of the writers you would always see at the bench?
Okay, yes, I've been to the bench. At that time, it was like you'd see Bantool a lot, Shy 147 a lot, Smiley a lot, Brooks 119 a lot. But you know, you basically, who's ever up and who wasn't a toy. Well, you see toys at the bench, but you pay them no mind. It's just the people that were up that got your attention.
Okay, did you ever have a favorite layup, and why was it your favorite?
I'd have to say Gun Hill was my favorite layup. The reason why it's my favorite, it was close to my house, and it has, how do you say, I've seen that station when it used to be something different, when the L train used to run through it. They'd shut that section of the L, well, they took it down, and then they made where those tracks used to come together at Gun Hill. They chopped them off and made that a layup. And so I've seen the progress of that particular station, and since it was really 2 blocks away from my house.
From inception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have any stories at the bench?
Well, during the wars with the Cap and MPC, I was at the bench, and I just happened to move from the bench and go up the steps and look at the trains from the overpass. You can see through the overpass, not really what's the pieces that are going, but if somebody's in between the cars. Train pulled in, and the bench is basically at the last 2 cars. Really near the last car, but the 2 cars of the 10-car train. And I'm looking down, and I see somebody who's white, red hair, and they have a shotgun and they're facing it at the bench. So that was a story. I was like, whoa, if I was down at the bench, I might have caught it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what were your peak years on the subway?
I'd have to say from 80 to 82. I would say 79 because I did a lot of tagging. But for those years, as in tagging and piecing.
Okay.
80, 80, yeah, okay.
I know you have a few raid stories. Tell us your favorite.
Oh, man. Okay, all right. I was riding in the D train, Bedford Hills, Bedford Park. I was by myself. It was night tagging, hitting that line, and it was raining, storming. So you get a little more edgy because the rain takes away from what you can hear. So you start hallucinating or just like getting paranoid. Well, I'm tagging, all of a sudden, I was hearing sound like doors closing. Boom! Look, I don't see nothing. Keep tagging, but I'm like more cautious. Boom! I said, oh shit, somebody's in here. Now, when you have trains in the yard, all the doors are open except the last and the first. So I run to I guess the front of the back. It doesn't really make a difference. And I was like, oh shit, this is might be closed. I'm trapped. Fortunately, it was open. The bad thing was, I jumped out. It's raining, and the third rail was not covered, and it's called clamp lights, where they use the lights to do work and let you know that the third rail is not covered. So in midair, I did like a flippity disco move with my feet and avoided that. But that sticks out of my, it's like not the scariest of a raid, but how close I came to being fried.
Okay, did you ever have a encounter with the ball busters, and if so, what happened?
We did. It was me, Doze, and Juice. We were on the 1 train going downtown, and Doze was having some sort of argument with his girl. Now, it was Big Mo and 2 of his henchmen, and the guy, Big Mo was like, look, how would you like if I fucking did that to you? We're ball busters. Me and my Big Mo, I don't give a fuck who you are. If I'm the ball buster, we're Zulu. And my friend's like, shut the fuck up. Now, these guys were big. They were. And I guess they were just so amused. I had all this fucking gumption, this fucking, that they was like, yo, he's too funny. Let's just get out of here. Because if Juice and those like, do you know what you did? You could have really got us killed.
Okay, we're almost finished. Did you ever battle any other rider on the subway?
Yeah, there was always battles from offhand. Oh my God. I really can't give you a name because it's more like situations. Sound might remember. My memory is very bad because there's been so much and so many things that have happened. They all become a blur.
Okay, speaking of battles, let's talk about the TC5 and TMT battles a few years back. Who came up with that, and how did it come about?
That came about because of situations with me and Scheme. And, he was saying something, I was saying something. And he said, look, why don't we just, battle? We have a battle with the crews. I'm like, yo, let's do it.
Okay, who do you think won the battles and why?
We won the battle because we're better. And we don't cheat. I'll leave it at that. We go by...
the rules?
Yes. Okay. There was a contract, and somebody violated that contract.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, do you have any stories from the Ghost Shark?
There was... Okay, we were setting up, me, Case, I don't know if Fade was there, and Pink. And we just got into the ghost yard, and we're trying to find a train to piece on. All of a sudden I hear boom, 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 cats running on top of the train, which riders would do. All right, so they come down, and we left the paint in the back of a train, like in between, but in the back, in the two-car seat. And I really don't want to mention names, but it was some cats from TMT, and snatched up the bag. I said, yo, what you doing with my paint? Yo, this is our paint. Yo, Case, these guys think that this is their paint. What? Who thinks that this is their paint? Case walks over. They're still in the train. We're in the bottom because we were trying to find a car to piece on, so we're checking out which one is best. Had the side door open. Case says, yo, man, put the fucking paint back. And one guy, the guy I was talking to had a shotgun, just pointed at Case. Case grabbed it and said, get that shit fucking out of my face. And just pulled it. So that's one of the stories that stick out, because that man had so much heart. Is incredible. Because you don't meet too many people who are going to grab a fucking shotgun.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, did you meet Case at the bench, or did you already know him?
I met Case through Fade. Because they were going to go piecing, and Fade said, yo, you want to come? I said, oh yeah, fucking yeah. And I met Case that incident. And we just connected and whatnot. Because Faye was basically getting ready to go to college, and I was still doing my thing. And, Case was always down to peace. My God, he would never deter. In fact, he's the only writer that has never said, I can't make it.
Okay, what was your favorite memory with Case?
I guess Case is just incredible, man. His didn't have a leg, didn't have an arm. This man would climb L poles. And see, climbing L poles was what we used to do at Gun Hill Layup, because instead, like if you drop a can, bing, bing, you'd have to go down and get it. But you could do that because of the L pole. Or even just go to the store, get some beer, and go back up. I didn't know that Case didn't have a leg. I knew he didn't have an arm, but I didn't know at that time that he didn't have a leg. And when I found out, I said, my God, this man was like, no, I'll go down and get the can. Don't worry about it. It's like if I would have known, I'd be like, no, I got it. And even the way that he walked, I thought that was just a bop. It was probably, he made it like that.
The Brooklyn Bob?
Yeah. No, the Bronx Bob. The Bronx Bob.
Okay, what are some of your favorite cars that you've seen from the 70s and 80s?
Ours. Oh, man. No, I give TMC had some cars running. TNT also. CIA, because I don't really want to mention one person. I give crew status. TFP, but they were more 70s. They were more 70s crew, but they left a lasting impression.
Was Death Squad pulling out?
Oh yeah, right there. Death Squad was the best. Thanks for reminding me. That was the top of the line, top notch. That was it, the best of the best, right there.
Okay. Well, we came to the portion where it's pick'em time. It's called 7 Deadly Sins, and I asked you which artist you would think would win the battle. So first, we got scene versus scene.
Style-wise, I would. He has, I would call it a cookie cutter style. It's keeps going and going, the same outlines, and it's basic.
Okay. Bio versus T-Kid.
Time period wise, I would say T-Kid, because T-Kid has a longer stretch. Style wise, right now, that's a real hard call, because T-Kid's my man. And I know bio also, but I'd have to say bio right now.
Okay. Next one, we got phase 2 versus case 2.
Very similar, but they're very different. Because Case got a lot of stuff from Riff and from phase 2, so it's
hard one to call.
It really is. And Case is, he's not like any rider, but then again he is, because when you get out of the loop for a while, you don't know what you're gonna come back with. You're not still at the top of your game. It takes you a while to get back that feeling. Trust me, I know.
Okay. Okay, next one we got Dondi versus Chain 3.
Dondi.
Okay. Cess versus Serve.
That one's a hard one for me to call also because Cess was never, he was on the train, but not really. I didn't see him on the train. And the Cess I wrote with, well, it's not him. There's two different Cess. Cess from 57, which was before him. And a lot of stuff, whatever he was doing, I was not in New York. But okay, that's not the question.
You gotta pick one, man.
Fuck.
You can say a tie.
Yeah, a tie. We'll leave it at a tie.
Okay, next one we got Part versus Scheme.
Part.
Okay, and the last one, Duro versus Dero.
Dero.
Dero. Okay.
All day.
All right, we covered a lot of things today. Is there anything that we left out that you might want to cover?
No, that was a good little interview right there.
Yeah. All right, my man,
All
Scene
right.
TC5. Peace.